but we still find that the Christian missionaries and particularly Islam as well are trying to convert so many of our Hindu faiths. Why this goes on, and why can't Swami Vivekananda's message come to the forth in this modern world?
Okay, let me start with Swami Vivekananda's quote on this particular issue. Very rough quote. And actually Sita has put it in her book. And we have a lot of Christians saying we like the whole book except that quote. We say we are going to take it out just because you don't like it. And this is the quote. It says very rude, very rough. He said conversion is a perversion. Ah, perversion, like you perverted people. Don't convert. Conversion is a perversion. It's a very dramatic statement. And one Christian, newly born Christian, there are this new, he said, I'm reconverting to Christianity. Why are you telling me it's bad? I said, no, you are all right. Talking about people who are forced to convert from one religion into another religion. Now, how has this happened? Just think about it. It will make you shudder. First of all, let me tidy up. The first missionary religion in the world, missionary means promoting the idea that this way of living, or these particular ideas of spirit, can then be transferred to people of other nations, other races. The first missionary religion, you may be surprised to hear, was not Christianity or Islam. Buddhism. And how did they convert? Look at the way. This is how you can convert. You don't preach. You live your life of religion. And that itself is such a shining example that people cannot help themselves but follow your pathway. They look at you and say, what a lovely life. So the Buddhist missionaries, this is how they went. They would go into Southeast Asia, imagine the whole of Southeast Asia become Buddhist. Through this mission, not a single drop of blood was shed. Whole of this Southeast Asia, right up to Japan, turned into Buddhism. The Buddhist monks would go and they've got this very sober, very peaceful way of life. And they practice that. And the people in the vicinity say, we want to do that. So they embraced Buddhism without any pressure, without any coercion. They just took it on because it appeared the most natural thing. This is perfectly fine. You basically preach by practicing. Suppose I am a good Hindu and people look at it and say, this is good. And they will automatically take on without even calling it Hindu, they might take on my ideals and use them in their own life without calling it Hindu and become like that without saying I'm Hindu even. Good for them. This is the right way of missionary act, right way. This is the right way. What's the wrong way? Through fear, through fraud, through force, through financial inducement, bribery or punishment. Whenever a religion is promoted using any of these four modes, look, fear, first example. If you don't convert to my religion, you know where you're going to end up. That place where they roast you. You say, fear. Let me tell you how dangerous this idea is. One Hindu girl was being targeted, let it be shown to other people, by a Muslim friend who said, look, I told you about Islam, and it says that once you know about Islam and you don't embrace Islam, you are guaranteed to go to hell. This very clever girl, she's a lawyer. She said, but I'm frightened, maybe it's true. So I better become Muslim. I said, how to convince this girl? She's a lawyer, they're difficult to fight with. How do I convince her that this is something wrong here? I said, my daughter, Dikri, come, I want to ask you another question. There are 1 billion Muslims who are saying that if you do not convert to their way of life, then you're going to go to hell. She said, yes. I said, there's a second problem. There are 2 billion Christians who say the same thing. You know about Christ, and if you don't follow Christ, you end up in the wrong place. So now my question to you, my daughter, is this. There are 2 billion Christians and 1 billion Muslims. Who do you believe? Maybe you should become Christian, I said. So I really wrong-footed her. So she said, in that case, I can't make up my mind. I said, then stay Hindu. You see, I had to use all these ploys just to play one religion against another. So this is the first thing, fear. They put the fear of hell into you. This is such an look, that's why this article in Newsweek is very clear. Most Christians now, they are saying 65% of Christians in America, this is the surveys, I'm hopefully quoting correctly, are saying people of other religion do not go to hell. See, they've given up the central tenet. They've given it up. And 37%, I remember the figures now, 37% of the evangelical Christians also agree now. Yes. So they are diluting this idea. So the first thing is fear. That is the worst way you can convert people, fear. Fraud. You cheat people. You know how you cheat? It's so easy. You pick up their own scripture and you quote things out of context. And you show their own scripture to be kind of scattered and contradictory. You confuse them.
Jehovah's Witness, they do that.
So you can basically pick up anybody. You can decimate any religion. You can pick up things from the Vedas and the Upanishads and the Puran and say, the whole thing doesn't make sense. This is called text torturing. Text torturing. And there are some people who are on sky all the time doing it day and night. And there are Hindus sitting and swallowing it all up, saying, this Hinduism is a horrible religion. This is called text torturing. They are masters at it. And they don't want to use rationality. They just remember chapter and verse quote and throw it in your face. And you say, they are quoting chapter and verse. But we are not fixated on the book. Remember Vivekananda? To be book fixated, this is idolatry of the worst kind. Think for yourself and work out. Scriptures are secondary. This is Hinduism. So you can say, okay, you read it, you can interpret it as you like, but this is the way I think. You argue with me. Common ground, rationality, and see who wins. And you will win. Your rationality will win. So fraud, fear. Then you see the other thing is bribe people. Means look, if you become Hindu, I'll give you to this missionary school, you can go, your students, your children will get education. This is bribery. Look, lowest of the low. If a religion is promoted through bribery or through punishment, saying we put a tax on you, if you don't pay this, then unless you convert, you get tax. Bribery or fear or fraud, all this, and the worst of all, force. At the point of a gun or the point of a sword, you kill, convert millions. You think this is the way religion should progress?
Won't survive for long.
Whole blood line all over. This modern human being, forget about Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever. Modern human being cannot relate to this anymore. These are the days of this particular pathway are numbered. Again, at the final session at the Parliament of Religion, Swami Vivekananda said, this bigotry, this hypocrisy, this divisiveness of exclusivism that my own religion will win over others, the days of this particular approach are numbered. In the future, it will be written, assimilation and integration, not death and destruction in the name of religion. On the banner of every flag of every religion, said Vivekananda, will be written, integrate and assimilate, means take the best of both and grow into a bigger thing. Again, you see the message from this modern proponent, how relevant it is and how crucial it is even today.